Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Isle of the Damned, episode 21. Ignore that I just spoke while muted for a couple seconds. And welcome. We hope you are going to enjoy this fun Dark Ages experience, set on the Isle of Man as a group of dastardly Cainites do their best to survive great threats and powers that dare to come across them and attempt to use them for their own ends, and if they can't, destroy them. With this, we're going to do some introductions of our lovely cast. This week, we are going to start off with Rebecca. Why don't you introduce
Me?
yourself?
Hi, I'm Rebecca, and I play Keeper Sister Iris of Clan La Sombra.
Very nice. Up next, Drew, why don't you give us your intro?
Everyone, I'm Drew. I play Snowy Freyerson, the Cappadocian Crypt Keeper. Official title, none needed.
All right.
I'm a nun.
And then we're going to do something I don't usually do and change up the pace. Mars, why don't you give us your intro?
Hello, I am Mars, and I will be playing Maud, the Valkyrie Hound, and she is a Aramaeans.
Very nice. Next up, Thomas, why don't you give us your introduction?
Hello, my name is Thomas, and what is my name? I'll be playing Randolph of Clan Gangrel, Sheriff of Peel.
Very nice. Last and certainly not least, Emily. Why don't you give us your intro as a new guest today?
Hi, my name is Emily, and I am playing a character that we are not naming yet.
Fun, fun, fun.
Hmm.
All right, then. I think with that, we can begin. Also, I don't know if I've done my introduction. Hello, I'm Mark, aka the CatsMeow. I run things here. This is my channel, and I hope you come and enjoy your stay. Let me turn on some lights. It's probably gonna get dark at some point, both literally and figuratively. Yes, I think with that, we can begin with a little bit of music.
Music.
Da, da, da. No, Muzak specifically. Da, 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 da.
Snooze.
Rebecca, that may be the greatest thing you've ever done.
Thank you. I think it's too.
Hopefully those who are on the stream can hear this. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot of nothing and listening to our wonderful voices. So, suffer. With that, we begin with a vision. In the cold, cold north, far more north than the isle we have seen currently, lies a large stretch of coast. This is a land that has many names, but most commonly, at least in the tongue that we use while playing this game, it is known as Norway. Isle of the Norse. Though it's technically part of the main continent, so it's not really an island. But nonetheless, it is a land of harsh winters and a strong, resilient people. Norway has had to contend with many a civil war, many a claim for the kingship and the crown, and many a conquest of lands all over the Irish Sea. But there is one at the moment who sits as king of Norway. The older man sits in a large wooden chair, a crown of iron upon his head, deep in thought. Perhaps it is time that we reclaim what has been lost to us. Perhaps it is time that the King of the Isles reaffirms his loyalty. We see a number of figures within his court, many of them draped in shadows. Some of them inhuman. They kneel towards the man on the throne. Of course, my king. We shall reclaim the Isles. For you. And as they reach upwards, pointing in the direction of the king, we see a figure behind them. A giant wooden carved statue. Spear in hand, with one eye. 2 ravens on his shoulder. They send their worship, their offerings of new land to their true king, the All-Father, Odin. They set sail for the new lands, seeking to reclaim what was taken. With that, we return to the small Isle of Man, into the city of Peel. And I think with this, I would like to ask, who would like to start off? Is there any scenes that people need to take care of? Any conversations they want to get done? Or, God forbid, a council meeting that wish to be called?
Can we get a session recap first?
Oh, that's a good point. Who would like to lead the session recap?
If there is no objection, I can take it.
Go ahead.
Alrighty. We began with a preamble similar to this one, but focused on another set of invaders that came to the Isle, atop longships gliding through mist-choked waters. Nordic figures, large warriors, shields slung, axes and swords gleaming in the pale morning light. And they came, arriving, grinning with feral glee, planning to fight the cursed Draugr that had taken over the Isle. They fight alongside great black wolves that step off of the boat with them, which, of course, totally normal and nothing to be worried about. We began the episode proper with talking with Oswald in a council meeting, making a deal with the council of allowing Maud to sit in on the ritual he was planning to cast on Bride to figure out where she truly came from and how she came by it. He asked in return to get a seat on the council. We talk about it for a while with most of the people kind of on the fence but leaning negative, with Randolph being, yeah, right, sure, if he wants that and give us magic gewgaws, let's do it. And the prince agreeing to it with no magical contract binding any loyalties one way or the other. He told us his true reason for being here upon being accepted onto the council, investigating ley lines within the island. There's a confluence of powers. Undead, fae, the dead, demonic, and something else. A secret here, buried in the island in relation to Odin, the All-Father. Gangrel Methuselah, perhaps? We talk a bunch about things, but Oswald reveals that he had lied in previous instances, that Bride is not a Tzimis, that being a lie to create a case against Judas, she is a Nosferatu, in fact, and yet one that doesn't experience the curse. Something very, very strange. There are plots and plans in order, but the prince recommends caution and waiting to see what occurs. Maud and Iris had a talk, discontent largely in the meetings, going off to do research and talking to Bride. Sister Iris learns that true faith will repel demons or something bad, and goes to talk to Father Michael, potentially talking about exorcising the demon from the prince. And he says that he has friends in the Vatican and will certainly write to them and see what he can do. Which also will totally go well. Meanwhile, that self-same demon talks to his host, to Prince Gwynedd, saying that the demon in Douglas is a separate entity from him and nothing to worry about, so long as the prince does not worship him. Talks about how the Thing had given up hope setting puppets to the island, but ultimately, after Gwynedd snubs Iran again, he mentions, oh, look at that dog. He mentions that his patience is running thin and that soon a bard will come to dethrone him. Snorri, Maud, and Randolph go into the secret cave, which was mentioned by Oswald. Snorri stayed behind with Ragnar, the wolf that Randolph has, kinda. And as we approach, things are wrong. The spirits don't respond to Maud's calling, and as we enter, someone comes in, knowing that we're there, sniffing at the air, turning, teeth shining in the moonlight. We talk for a brief time before an instance of miscommunication led to a sneak attack being botched, and the two running like fuck back to the safety of Peel. Running up a tree, claws shining, while Randolph was flying, caught him and cut a gash along his midsection, which he survived not unscathed, but certainly better than it could be. We ended seeking out the church to talk to Iris and feeding, and that's where we left off generally.
I do have a scene that I would like to do with both Ingrid and Maud.
All right.
Alright. I think generally I
Right.
think Maud
Go
is
ahead.
also I mean most pressingly I think she's on her way with Randolph to deal with to talk to Iris in the church. I don't know when Snorri in particular would be getting back. Because he was still out in the forest, if I recall.
I'm sure he's fine. I hope he's fine.
Probably
No,
fine.
They headed back. It's up to the ST whether they make it back or not, but I think upon returning to the city, he probably would have sought out Bride, actually. So,
All right. In that case, which scene do you guys want to do first?
I'm down with Snorri stuff, because we kind of left it behind and then really, really ran really fast.
let's maybe do it chronologically and
Alright.
let Thomas
That
or
works.
let Randolph and Maud go talk to Iris first.
Sure.
All right. In that case, we go to the church. Father Michael is not here.
Thank God.
Bye,
You walk with a
Michael.
demon? Oh, for fuck's sake.
And Okay. As you arrive at the church, you see that the doors are presumably open, unless Iris would keep it otherwise.
They're usually open.
Alright. In which case, what would they find Iris doing as they stepped into the church?
I think this would be after the mass, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So probably cleaning up in the pews after everyone is gone. Tending to duties. Huh. Oh, goodness, Randolph. What happened? This is not what I meant when I said that you could spill your guts in the church.
I still think it was an odd metaphor to begin with, but don't worry. It looks worse than it is.
I should hope so. Are you alright, Maud?
I'm alright for the most part. Though the expedition to the cavern I came across and that Oswald mentioned very much didn't go as expected.
What did you find?
Well, at first, the first thing we noticed is that there was a camp there, people that were certainly not there before. And I didn't have that same connection to the spirits that I would usually have. That was the first thing I really felt that was off.
They were listening to something else. As we approached, a man walked up with the bearing of a predator. Very different from us. I knew the sighting of the wolves nearby, wolves which are not supposed to be on this isle and haven't walked here for centuries, that there was something more to him. He met with me, knew we were there, called us Draugr. Came from Norse stock and something far more beastly. Lupines run rampant upon the Isle of Man, and I fear as long as they are extant, no one outside the city walls are safe.
Then we must prepare what defenses we have, I'm sure. And Iris will gesture for some of her herd to come forward. Do you need a place to heal?
That would be much appreciated. I
Right.
confess, I went through more than expected just to survive. They are every bit as fierce as my sire warned me. Yet proud too, but who wouldn't be?
I should set aside a couple just for you, in particular, with the amount of blood you lose on a regular basis. And then she'll start walking towards the office.
Sometimes you kill things quickly, sometimes it takes a little bit of time. Sometimes they'll kill you quickly.
And when they all get in the office, she will shut the door behind them.
Mm-hmm.
We might have other problems as well.
Other problems?
Well, Father Michael said that he could perform an exorcism and that true faith can, following up on the research we did, Maud, true faith being able to expel demons. I believe he has that, but he is merely Cain and not Cainite. I didn't give him too much information but did say that I had concerns and feelings. So I have not told him to act, but he will be writing potentially to the Vatican.
I don't like it. It's the kind of thing that angry mobs form about.
I'm not.
Agree.
Yeah.
You want me to kill him?
No, I specifically cannot allow harm to come to a pious person.
I can kill the messenger before he leaves the island.
Ah. I would not allow that, but intercepting a letter might not be a bad thing.
Alright. I'll say
Intercepted
this.
communication.
Mm.
The knowledge and wisdom of the church when it comes to demons and stuff might be useful. I don't think them getting involved is the best thing for us, as once the demon is gone, they'll look upon us, largely profane creatures.
We bear our own demons as well, the lot of us within us. Some more literal and pressing and present than others.
You certainly do.
That being said, I think that's probably on the lower scale. How much of a threat do you believe Father Michael poses?
I have not always been the best judge of character in that regard. I didn't think Sir Tancred posed much of a threat to us, and then he did. I did not assess the Keeper of Douglas to be more than she was.
At
It
this
is very
point, there is a
possible that
knock
he's...
on your door, interrupting you mid-thought. Word.
Alright. I assume that, yeah. Clean yourselves up. And then she goes to, answer it when...
You see one of the nuns at the door going, apologies, Sister Iris, but there is someone at the door who wishes to speak with someone.
Someone? Are you not someone?
They said they want to speak with someone in charge.
I see. Well, I shall be right out. Give me one moment.
Okay. Very well.
She closes the door. I have duties to tend to, but if you wish to feed, and meet me out, there's a lost and found with clothes you can help yourselves to.
Much appreciated.
Alright, so, she will go, allowing them to feed and change and join them if they or join her if they choose.
Alright.
Looking at the Dark Ages rules, doesn't require willpower, does require a full day's rest and 5 blood points, so I won't be
Right.
healing it now.
Mhm.
But you can feed.
A question
Did you
for...
pull it up?
Indeed.
Yeah, I might
How
feed as
much
well.
can we feed?
I have 2 herd left right now, assuming that it hasn't been a Sunday yet.
Not yet.
Alright.
So 2 dots available left of blood.
2 points of herd.
Oh, 2 points of
Oh,
herd,
gosh.
right.
2 points of
So-
hurt is 5? Let me check.
I think.
I believe 2 point is 5 vessels.
Yeah, 5 vessels. Yeah.
How many vessels have you used during the week?
5.
Yanni?
I've used
2
5.
is 7 vessels. There you go.
Ah, so you have
7.
2
Yeah.
more vessels left.
Mhm.
So that is
Hmm?
2 points of blood, or 4 points if you risk it.
Oh, sorry.
What were you going to say?
Hmm?
What were you going to say?
Oh, nothing. That was.
Alrighty. I guess I'll take 2 points of blood from one of them.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'll take 2 from the other.
Alright then. Roll me a d10, Maud. Tell me high or low.
Alright. Alright. D10. Oh boy. Let's go high this time. Oh no, I should have said low.
A
Good to
little
know.
less than high.
It's fine. It's
Yeah, you
Yeah.
you customary bite, then you lick the wounds, and then remember, oh yeah, your wounds don't close.
yeah, right. Forgot about that.
Anyway,
Anyway.
I think with that, we will cut to Iris stepping out into the main church area, as we pan over to a figure that has entered the church. At this point, Emily, would you like to describe your character?
So, what you would see is a woman with longer, dark brown hair and dark eyes. She is not she's not winning any best dress contests. But she's looking a little disheveled. But she would be almost nonchalantly kind of standing and waiting.
So yes, you would see a nun walk out with just pale blue eyes and sort of bedraggled blonde hair. It modern days would be considered a wolf cut, but it is just sort of shaggy and chunky. Yes, may I help you? I'm Sister Iris.
You're in charge.
Somewhat, yes. Depending on the night.
She's going to kind of visibly eye the room and then look back. Would you mind if we spoke privately?
Yes, that could be arranged. And she will lead them back to the office and just give me one moment, and then check in with the other two to see how they're faring.
You should really remember this. He's like probably wrapping a bandage with his medicine. Yeah.
We have a guest. Is that all proper?
Hey.
She'll open the door, allowing the herd to wander off. And I close the door behind them. This is Randolph and Maud.
Randolph's appearance is not masquerade friendly at the moment.
Ah,
So I imagine he's hooded.
I gave
Randolph
you
is
access
hooded, yeah.
to whatever articles of
Lost and
clothing are in the
found.
lost and found.
He's good with a hood. He's good with a hood and a pashmina.
But yes. And your name? Sorry?
I'm here because I think you're fighting what I'm fighting.
Rorik, why don't you make me a perception and awareness?
Okay. I'm so sorry, this is slightly different. I don't know how to roll.
It's okay.
Uh,
There's a
Yeah, it's
dice.
a dice tab.
There's a dice tab.
Yeah.
Yeah. In
And
the
then you
character
scroll
sheet, it's the last one on the top left.
up right.
Yes, that's right, top right. I'm a fool.
Keep this
Yeah.
one. I'll set up the dice pool for you.
Okay, thank you.
And sorry,
Okay.
did we get your name?
She noticeably didn't answer.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Iris is asking again.
I'm gonna wait until this roll is done because it's gonna tell me
Alright,
little
you
bit,
can press
and I
the
need- I-
button. Should be one of
Which one am
under
I rolling?
main dice pools.
Sorry, am I rolling just general? Oh, I see it. Never mind.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah. These are definitely the people you're looking for. You can smell the blood on them. Especially from one of them, the strange hooded one.
Strange headed one. Great. She leans back on. So I'm assuming this is an office with like a desk.
Mm-hmm.
Are they all standing behind the desk, or are they standing like in the doorway?
I think Iris would have led you in, and stood behind the desk. Didn't sit.
So she's
Randolph is lurking in the corner by the doorway. Sorry, continue.
yeah, she's leaning on the furthest wall.
Maud is probably kind of leaning on the wall opposite then. Kind of with her arms crossed.
We are kindred, you guys.
Everybody as far away as they can get from everybody else. You can call me Rorik.
Rorik.
To my people, I'm known as the Red King.
I see. Does that ring a bell for me?
Yeah.
For those who speak Norse,
Mm-hmm.
Rorik literally means the Red King.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
literal translation of the name.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it doesn't have particularly any connotation. There were plenty of important people in Norse history named Rorik.
Yeah.
But other than that, it doesn't have any specific meaning or tales associated with it.
Mm-hmm.
And which foe do you believe we share, Rorik?
There's something dark on this island.
Multiple
Something
something
correct.
darks.
Well, let me generally set this up for you. I would like to propose a sort of agreement. Your people and my people are fighting the same thing. And it seems silly that we should continue hostilities.
The
given
enemy of my
fact we have
enemy.
a common foe.
I see. Well, your people. When you say that, can you elaborate?
Sorry, I thought you'd gotten that.
and
feeling.
suspects.
It's always nice to hear it straight from the horse's mouth or wolf's mouth in this case.
There you go.
Hmm. To be certain.
Exactly what you suspect, then.
Perhaps I'm a better judge of character than I thought.
So,
Well, in that case, I believe that is something that I should ask the sheriff of the city about.
you said you were the
And
one in charge.
At the church, yes.
Then I'm wasting my time.
Hmm.
we're
I'm
on a
off.
ruling council which controls the city. Didn't mean to interrupt,
No.
but you are in the right place
And you are?
for now. Sheriff Randolph, I recently returned from an encounter with your brethren, who had a vastly different diplomatic approach.
Rorik, as Randolph speaks, you find yourself overwhelmed by the stench of corruption.
Yeah.
Something about him, it's like he's been doused in the sickness of the worm.
Well, I've no doubt. And it seems like you had fun with one of my brethren. Did you catch their name?
I don't actually think we did. He
You
called
did.
himself Draugr's
Yeah,
Bane,
that's the one.
which seemed like more of a thread than an actual title, but I've no doubt he'd earned it.
Oh no, that would be a title. Not a threat, I promise. You're very lucky to still be whatever you are.
Luck and skill look the same from down here in the muck.
Hmm.
I would certainly call that luck, given who
Quite
you were
so.
against.
Are
And
you with the same group or a separate one? Do you speak for all your people here?
this is less of an... Well, I would need to speak to your leader. Anything I'm saying now isn't exactly doing anything, is it?
True enough. I suppose we can bring you to the prince.
Hmm.
To answer your question, it's more complicated than the answer you gave, at least.
Politics.
Unfortunately.
But yes, Draugr's Bane. I know.
I'll say this much. Meeting with the prince will be a risk that we are taking, but it can certainly be arranged, and this will be important. We do have a common enemy, the thing that lurks beneath this isle, the thing that sunk its fingers deep into the earth. We want it gone?
We're running short on allies. So, I suppose our next course of action would be to ask the prince directly. Should probably have our, not story, ready, but our thoughts.
In the meantime, this requires a little bit more discretion than I think any of you are proposing. No one could know I'm here. Or have spoken to you.
Beyond us and our prince. Don't worry, it won't reach anyone. I
Iris will
Randolph
also.
can't. Yeah, Randolph can't promise that 100% because
Mhm.
there are, of course, Nosferatu around. He won't mention that.
Yeah, and Iris will say, I can guarantee to a certain degree that anything spoken to me in a church is quite confidential. It won't leave my lips unless you wish it to.
While I appreciate that, I will say that promises to your god don't exactly mean the same for me.
If there is a faith that I can appeal to, I shall do so.
Not a faith that our kind can walk.
No, not at all.
Everyone has their own faith. I can only tell you that I hold mine wholeheartedly. And
Faith
I
aside,
promise
sorry,
on
you-
that. For
And
whatever
faith
it's worth.
aside. I'm sorry.
I'll kill you. Go ahead.
No. And faith aside, it's in our best interests to keep yours. If we blab, we gain nothing, and lose on whatever opportunity you are speaking of, which doesn't quite have mass yet. Are you just not killing us immediately? Or is this a sharing of knowledge?
You're closer to the leader, aren't you?
By technical rank, I suppose. In aptitude, I would say not. But aye.
What I'm proposing is that we don't go on killing each other when there are bigger issues at hand. Working together is a little more complicated and will take a little more, well, politics, like you said.
On my personal
But
strong
I-
suit.
Nor mine, but here we are.
I'll say this. I'll bring it to the prince, but I can say it's certainly not an appealing thought to go on battling each other while there is something else that threatens to eat the island out from underneath us.
Right, so.
So then, what are we waiting for?
Oh, I like her.
Let's go and meet the
So-
prince whose player isn't here!
We think
Yes.
Maud kind of tries to linger behind the others, kind of keeping an eye on, was it Rorik?
Mhm.
Just trying to gauge intentions, primarily. Does it feel like she's been honest throughout this conversation?
Perception, empathy.
Alright. Oh god, was empathy the one I'm... Okay, no, empathy was the one I had one on, thank god.
It will be
Perception,
difficulty
empathy.
8. As
Sounds
Rorik has
good.
their god.
I'm also gonna be making that roll.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna be making it, because if she's lying, she's too strong for it to matter.
Would discerning or guilt read into this?
I'd say discerning. What?
Alright, 3 successes then.
Okay. Does Rourke appear to be deceptive in this offering?
Unenthused, certainly, but deceptive, no. She also purposely waits until everybody else starts exiting the room. She does not put her back to any of them.
Oh no. 3 of them.
All right.
Here, I'm loping through the streets.
With that, you begin to make your way from the streets in the direction of the castle to meet with the prince. Is at which point we are going to cut over to a different conversation.
Yay!
Yay!
As we cut to Snorri.
Yes.
As you wander the halls, you come across the room where Maud would normally be staying, if she was in the castle. However, instead of Maud, you find Bride is sitting there quietly.
Is Ingrid with? No,
She's with you if you would like her to be.
I would like her to be.
Ingrid is with you.
He'll knock lightly on the door. Even though it apparently is open, he'll knock, wait to be acknowledged before taking a step in.
You'd see Bride would immediately look to you and stand up, hastily courtesying, very unstably though, as if it's not particularly well practiced and recently learned. Well, she goes, my apologies, my lord. What is it that I owe the pleasure of this greeting?
Need not call me lord. Is your keeper around?
My keeper. Maud is not. She said she had to go out into the forest, and she's not been back yet.
Very well. And he kind of looks at her, his head turning a bit. This moment of hesitation. I'd like to introduce you to my friend Ingrid. I don't recall, did you overhear the vision I spoke of when I studied your marks?
I heard some things, but I'll be honest, I did not quite understand.
Very well. What faith you typically follow?
I suppose, in God. She says, kind of unsure.
You remember the story of Eve?
I believe so, yes. She was, the wife of Adam, wasn't she?
Second wife.
Oh,
No, of the first.
would not say so.
You remember for what crime Eve committed?
Something about a fruit?
Very good. And he looks towards Ingrid with a smile. Fruit, you say? Now, do you remember what I said about you? Reaching up towards a tree. Plucking a fruit.
Yes?
Good. Well, my mate, he reaches up, pulling the back of Ingrid's hair before kissing her gently. I'd like to share another story with you while I wait for your keeper.
Okay. She hesitantly takes a half step backwards.
Need not have any fear from us. We're here to make your life better, for you have been given an opportunity.
Ingrid moves over
From
to
much
take her by the hand, guide her over to a seat, patting her on
greater
the shoulder.
cause. And with that, he will he'll step out of the room, putting his back to the wall next to the door frame. Not shutting the door because he doesn't want Maud to be overly alarmed, but waiting for Maud to show up.
Alright.
A little concerned look on his face for the first time ever since he's entered the story. He did hear the howls in the forest.
I think at which point, Maud, before you return to the meeting chamber, where everyone is gathering, you decide to go check up on Bride.
Yes,
And
I
as you
think she
do,
would.
you open the door to find Bride is not alone, as sitting next to her is Ingrid, with a hand on hers. And in the door frame, standing stoically, is the form of Snorri.
I would have been outside the door frame in the
standing.
hallway with the door open.
In that case, you see all that, and you see standing outside the door frame is Snorri, with his back to the wall.
Snorri.
But glad to see that whatever that was did not get to you. I was concerned.
Narrowly avoided it.
Need to speak to you regarding the vision that I had about the bride, and also some of our shared history, and I.
Alright. I think Maud is kind of like, as the door is open, kind of eyeing what Ingrid is doing.
She's just sitting there calmly. She smiles in your direction.
Would be alright to talk?
Absolutely. We can do so in front of them. I have no secrets before Ingrid, and should be no secrets in front of Bride. It concerns her, as well as you.
It does.
You'll enter the room.
Maud will as well.
Call you Valkyrie. Is that a title you feel suits you?
As much as it can. It's one that gives me connection to my sire. Although there are times where I feel it less, but regardless.
Do you know of the story how Freya came to be in Asgard with Odin.
I assume I would, but would I?
Intelligence theology?
Oh, let me see if I have theology. No.
Then you have not.
Nope.
You don't know about, like, the intricacies of the stories. You know the general stuff
Yeah.
around it, and your role as a Valkyrie.
Yeah. Not
So
really.
understood. You see, interesting that they did not teach you. With Freya, as you would know her, was Odin's equal amongst her own people. Do you know that? That in Norse theology and history, there's another group of people outside of Asgard that was the greater being.
I'm not particularly familiar with the details. I mainly know the vague concepts generally.
Well, we'll save you the full reading, as we are stressed for time. However, point being, reason she chose to stay in Asgard is to be seen as an equal to Odin, the god himself, because she was
Of course.
in the so in the history of the world of our kind, as you would say, Cainites, many lies passed down, shrouded in mystery. This, at one time, according to the Christian God, who has no equal, according to the lies, you can check with Sister Iris on this. The one that created us, caused us, was cast out. But what they do not tell you is that this god had an equal. You see, there was a tree whose fruit littered the ground, and it was all of the knowledge, understanding that God possesses in the fruit. A woman was forbid to pull fruit from the tree, picked up the fruit off the ground and began to eat, began to understand the world. And when she did, he went to God to discuss things. God enjoyed this. The two mated. The reason I tell you this is the vision I had of Bride here, of her reaching up into the tree, pluck the fruit, and it's causing what the Norse would call Ragnarok, what the Cainites may call a deluge. Many will misinterpret this to be the end of the world. I choose to believe it is the rebirth of it. People are going to come for Bride, and I know you will protect her with all that you are. But in these times, need to understand. There are some of us who will support you. You rank far more important. Any prince, any council. You are a Valkyrie. You will soon enough understand the true faith of the world. I are here to help you and Bride at all costs, for your flames will shine brighter than any that have walked this land yet.
Good to know that you'd support me in protecting Bride. I'll do what I can to protect you and the other members of the council as well, if they will offer Bride the same.
I worry not for myself. Pain is just the beginning. Death comes for us all. Not worry about me, nor Ingrid. Merely keep this being, this young student, or keep safe. And we will do the same. That is all I ask. And if you should need anything, let us be there to aid you.
Maud nods.
Well. And with that, he reaches into another satchel that is hung across his chest. He pulls out a book, handing it to Maud. It's leather bound. There's no title on it. Old. This is the story. Truth. At least the beginning of it. Feel free to look it over with Bride when time presents itself. And should you have questions, please come to me. And he nods. However, I suspect you were here to check on Bride. If it would please you, I would leave Ingrid here after we leave for business. Ingrid, you will obey Maud's every word should she agree. Am I clear?
Of course.
State your life on it.
As I would to yours.
I will await the rest, as I have a feeling we have some things to discuss in another meeting. And he rolls his eyes, shaking his head, muttering something about Father Collins on the way out the door.
Well, I think we should be fine here. Just us, Snorri.
Very well. Ingrid. Me.
Ingrid stands, looking one last time to Bride with a kind smile, before leaving the room, following after you.
Turns to her and smiles, offering a hand. Thank you for your service, love.
I live to serve, if it is the will of the goddess.
Agreed. He'll keep her close by, but head up towards the council chamber and his stuttering walk that he usually keeps, dragging his right foot behind him.
With that, Maud, you are left alone with Pride.
Indeed. Well, I think she just kind of sit beside her, kind of like wordlessly trying to kind of like look her over, check in on how she's faring, especially after being present for that conversation, and also generally whatever conversation happened before Maud came in.
She seems fine. A little confused with all the strange talks of theology she doesn't quite understand.
Mm-hmm.
She's not in distress or anything.
Alright. I think for the time being, Maud kind of like puts aside that titleless book. Doesn't open it quite yet. I think she would gesture for Bride to follow her before she likely heads off as well towards where the others are for an attempt at a meeting.
Alright.
Oh, it's
My nose just started bleeding, which, you know, fitting for a vampire game. I'm
no.
losing
Sometimes it
losing
happens.
blood points.
No!
Yeah, you lose the blood point. Sorry.
I just gave you HUD, you bastard.
No! Theft of Vitae!
Should have given me more.
No.
Tremir's attacking me for 1 damage.
Tramir's trying to mildly inconvenience you. Just
They
generally.
mildly inconvenienced me by existing every night.
How dare you?
Hey, look, if we're in the 2000s, then I'm 800.
I'm permanently a Tremere lover, so how dare you?
They're one of my favorite clans, and also one of my favorite clans
But
to
also they're
hate.
hot though, have you considered?
How do you
Some of
None of them are
them.
hot. Not allowed.
If evil, why hot?
Exactly!
Morally grey is if the evil person is attractive.
Now back to the Isle of Man.
Anyway,
Yes, yes.
concern over,
Uh,
friend over.
Thank you. What do we find as we search for the prince?
The prince is not there. Instead, Lewin, stands, forward when you're searching around for the prince and says, my apologies, but the prince is not available at the moment, but I can be a stand-in if need be.
Sorry,
He
not a
said
bit.
the
Excuse you?
prince's important
Yes.
research that they are partaking in.
Inside the castle, or
Out.
I see.
Any further
that-
details than that?
Did he appoint a seneschal in his absence?
Well, me, I suppose.
You suppose, or
Well, he just said, well,
Officially,
things
or-
are like this. I have to stand in his place and represent him.
Acting seneschal, then. Sounds like a plan. However, for this meeting, it's a little bit sensitive. You have my word, I'll fill the prince in once he returns.
With all due respect, there's no need for you to be here.
I am the
I would
prince's
agree.
child.
Yes.
Make a... One of you can make either manipulation and... what was to be? Manipulation and either leadership or intimidation.
Go for
Intimidation.
I'll do it with
Intimidation.
Okay.
I'll do it with my 2 dice. I'm not afraid. Someone else should absolutely do it.
I will
mean-
manipulate and intimidate. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, it's
While
fair.
this is
I have
happening,
3 dice.
Rick
That's
is
chocolate.
just
Don't eat that.
leaning against a wall, just watching them all.
Yeah, I know. Randolph is really embarrassed that she's seeing the infighting so quickly.
Mhm.
Embarrassing me in front of the werewolf.
Yeah.
It's my dice
They're
pool mark.
supposed to see us as at least sneaky leeches.
5 dice.
I think I
5
got 5. I've got
dice.
6.
5
Whoa.
dice. This will be difficulty 7.
You look like consummate
if you could-
professionals, everybody.
Very good.
Oof.
0 successes.
0 successes.
Not scared
With
of dead
that-
things. Oh well.
Yeah, he kind of straightens up and goes, I have been placed in charge while the prince is unavailable. Thus, you will respect my authority as if it was his. Now then,
Cool.
shall we begin this meeting?
Snorri turns around and walks away, leaving.
Snorri leaves the meeting.
As Snorri leaves, Randolph will turn to Rorik and say, "This will have to do for now, unless, of course, you too would like to leave."
I mean, frankly, are you sure it'll do for now?
It'll
You
have
all
to.
seem to be arguing quite a bit about who's actually in charge.
You do that a lot. You get used to tuning them out.
I would say that if you want a large decision like this done, making it without and you want discretion, so wouldn't you want as little people involved as possible?
I mean, yes, but you do have what seems to you all like a young boy trying to lead in his father's stead. So,
And
Okay,
this is
gotta
a
who
let
is
rather
this-
large
this?
decision.
Is he just... Who the
We'll
fuck
get
is this
to-
person?
Goodness, Ewan.
You gotta learn somewhere. Besides, if operational security is breach, we know who does it.
True enough. Right. We have a rather large decision to make, she says, turning to Ewan.
At this point, Amir speaks up and points to Oswald.
Wait, Amir's here?
Wait,
Why
wait, wait,
is-
wait, 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 wait,
hold on.
Why are they all
No, no, no,
here?
no, no.
You
This
said
wasn't
you
a
summoned
full
the
council meeting.
Okay.
No,
Alright, that
we
case-
did not
Yeah,
summon
no,
a
no,
council.
no,
We
no, no,
only
no, no.
summoned the prince. That is
Alright,
the
then.
only
Yeah.
thing that we wanted
Okay,
to
Yeah, no,
do.
that's good to
we
know.
only wanted to summon the prince. Yeah.
Okay, I am
In that
very,
case, there'll
I'm
be
very
a
glad
blow
we
up
stopped
for
that
another
before
day.
it began.
Oh,
Yes,
thank God.
That's a different blow. We can't. We don't want to embarrass ourselves in front of the
No.
werewolf. Look,
No,
here's the
this
thing.
was specifically only
Yes.
going to get the
Yeah.
prince because
Yes.
this was involving as little people as possible. We did not summon the
Yes.
council whatsoever.
Yeah,
Right,
we were
then.
just
I-
joking about meeting, yeah.
I
I see the
absolutely
confusion.
love that we should meet with as little people as possible, meanwhile shuffling in our 7 others.
Alright.
Jesus Christ.
Look,
Oh.
after taking 1 ag damage, Randolph is a Garuraboo. He doesn't want to embarrass, he doesn't want to show weakness in front of them.
Okay, so just to clear, you don't invite any other council members. Just you
Nope.
guys.
The idea
We were
was
just
just
seeking
going
the
to the
prince.
prince.
Okay,
Yes.
then.
Because
Perfect.
that's what was, like, contingent of the agreement of Rorik.
Yeah.
Sounds
Although
great.
Maud did bring joy.
Thomas, roll me a d10 and tell me high or low.
I'm feeling low. 2.
Okay?
Yes! Thank fuck.
I'm sorry you're feeling low.
It's the bloodbath.
Alright then. Continue the meeting.
But yes. Anyway, we're Ewan, this is rather very specific and urgent matter.
With that in mind, this is Rorik, and I'll leave further introductions to yourself.
Max.
I'm coming to you on behalf of, well, all of us. I assume you speak for all of them.
Yeah. We could say that.
Within the city of Peel,
Large
Oh, yes.
responsibility.
I'm sorry, can you clarify? You said you speak for a city.
our people are not a monolith, like you have revealed yours to be also. There are divisions and fractures and territory
I-
disputes.
Wouldn't call ours a monolith either, but I assumed you had a leader.
We
for this
do.
island.
That's the prince.
Leader of the city.
If you're referring to a leader of all Cainites, no. Of the city,
Oh.
aye.
I meant of the island.
We did. And then. Well. He went away temporarily, and two more leaders sprouted up.
Not quite accurate. The city is divided into two largely. One in Peel, one in Douglas, the city to the
Elsewhere.
east.
Can I ask a question, Leos? What's up? Why are we revealing such sensitive information to what I presume is not one of ours?
Hardly
Having-
sensitive. We rule the cities, they rule the wilds. What
Still
are
didn't
you,
answer my
Rorik?
question.
Rulings of cities, not exactly uncommon knowledge.
So to answer your question, because I don't think that you've caught up yet, I'm I'm so sorry. I'm one of the Garu.
Make a roll.
Yeah, exactly, because Randolph doesn't know what that is, and he knows
Oh no!
probably the most about lupines.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love having different terms for each other. It makes
Oh, I
everything
love
very
it.
clear.
It's
Definitely.
like hearing a Frenchman say Paris. Like, what is that?
Paris. Oh, we really get the tower.
A
I
croissant?
see. And what is it that has brought you to our island?
We share a common foe, and I think it's generally a better idea if we aren't trying to kill each other.
I see. And the common foe
We
you
were-
speak of?
The dark thing living under this island that you and your friends seem to have met.
Of
Net
course.
is a strong term.
The one we are aware of.
Yes.
It kind of nods.
And the one that we've been fighting.
Well, I assume your people, the Guru, have much to offer. But it does not sound as if you are... Well, from what I remember, your kind are not fond of ours.
Nor are yours particularly fond of mine.
He nods. Well, then what exactly is it that you are offering? Is it an alliance? Or is it simply a agreement not to get in the other's way?
I would like, ambitiously maybe, to negotiate an alliance.
I see. And from what states
than
of
I know.
power do you come with this offering? Do you lead your own people? Are you a representative?
I'm close enough to those who lead, and I have enough sway to try and make this happen.
Try
But you
is
have
not
opponents.
convincing.
Yeah.
I believe you already met one of the leaders. And she looks at the hooded one.
He looks at you,
A few
Randall.
hours ago, during the scouting mission, we discovered the presence of the lupines. One of them, Draugr's Bane, met with us.
I see.
And he will gesture, perhaps, to the slight gash.
Well then. If you speak for this Draugr's Bane, then know that the people of my city are willing to discuss the possibility of an alliance, especially if it is to take down such a great threat as the dark being that all of us must stand against.
One thing that all of your people on this island share is a desire to wipe it clean of corruption. For many, I'm certain, that means us, quite chiefly. To focus on the bigger thing first, I think, is in all of our best interests, however. And you represent that school of thought amongst your people. A faction.
Well, the people like me, we know, well, my faction, as you would put it, the people who agree that we likely will need help with this. We don't believe unfocused rage to be the answer with something this dark lurking. I've consulted with some of my people, some spirits of the island. And the general greeting you got doesn't seem to be the way to solving this. Instead, it makes each side weaker until eventually neither of us can do anything.
And the
The
being that
vultures
is
win.
consuming the island eats it up whole.
So, we become allies for a time when the threat's gone.
How can we
Then
trust that your people will keep their end of the bargain?
I will talk to
Not quite what he put forward.
Do you want
There's
me
a
to
lot
make
that
them
we're
all
taking.
sign a
Sorry.
pact?
I don't know that many of them can write. Don't you come from wolves themselves?
Randolph.
I legitimately don't know.
Personally, just looking for assurance that you'll actually.
What assurances can you give me then that your people will do what I ask?
My
Difficult.
clan,
Under normal circumstances. Yep.
my clan are a clan of honor. We live by rules that we dare not break, lest we consign ourselves to destruction by one of our own. We follow
So I'm
rules of hospitality and oaths that are kept. It is the same thing we are hoping from you. An honor that you won't simply attempt to destroy us as soon as we let our guard down.
So your honor is enough, but mine is not.
Is my honor enough? Because if it is, then I will trust in yours.
Why is it always dancing around with all of you?
Well, I am
You've
quite a
done
good
this
dancer.
before. Hmm.
No, I've heard stories, and they're proving mostly true. I don't really talk to people like you, usually.
Perhaps if you can convince your leader to come to the table to discuss things. Wherever it is that stands at
Having
your head.
him discuss things is complicated. Getting the people
Perhaps-
around him to agree so that he has to agree is easier.
And
Then
as
some-
it is, we have an acting leader as well on our side. So, if one is
I'm
an
not s-
appointed emissary,
Because you're not the prince, if I'm correct.
I stand for the prince.
I stand for my people.
therefore, it seems we are on equal footing, does it not?
Faith and trust are very rare things in the world, even when one discounts the shadows. But the prize, the quarry that we hunt, is large enough, I think, that we can at least see the value in not killing each other, such as it is.
I would agree as well.
Perhaps
If I may be so bold as to advise, I think it would be in the island's best interest.
Of course. Well, Rorik, if you are able to provide us with some assurance that your people, enough of your people, is willing to agree to this agreement that we are not going to keep killing each other, so that whatever it is that lurks within the dark crevices of this isle can destroy all of us, then I am sure this council can do the same for the Cainines of our city.
In the meantime, I'll ensure that no one wanders too far from the city walls. Not without
Indeed.
great cause.
And Nguyen, this is just amongst us.
Of course.
It doesn't leave this circle. It doesn't go to the
Okay.
council. It is just us.
Very, very, of course. That's what I said.
Yes. That's what I heard. I just wanted to be certain that that was what you meant.
Of course. I'm glad all has
That's
been
good.
clarified. So,
So, how many people do you need to sway before we can not get attacked by the person called Draugr's Bane? Being,
Let-
you know, Draugr.
Let me speak to Draugr's Bane.
Success or failure, it's worth a try.
well then,
We
it has
agree.
been a pleasure to meet you, Rourke. If you wouldn't mind, I would like some time to speak to my council members privately.
Alright. I'll go deal with my people. Speak to you all once that is done.
Look forward to it.
Very well.
What is your title, by the way? She says it to the blonde man who she's not learned his name.
I am the seneschal to the prince. Second in command.
And that,
Well, he is not available.
oh,
Randolph's not going to say anything or react.
No, that was Rebecca reacting. Iris might do the Vulcan eyebrow raise, but that's about it.
can I tell that they're all like a little like,
Perception empathy.
let's do it. I want to know.
I don't have
Oh.
human feelings.
I'll just note that Snorri showed no hiding of his feelings when he left.
That is very true.
Indeed.
You said what is it?
Perception
A
and
perception
empathy.
Empathy. I'm learning how to use this. I got it.
Yeah, let's
Do I
go.
have... Wait, this is
that's not
sorry.
me.
This is organized a little differently. I'll
Yeah.
eventually. I don't see empathy. Oh, there it is. Never mind.
Yeah, it's hiding.
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty will be 7.
7. Okay. Three successes.
Yeah. 3 successes, you can feel the unease in the room as he says that. But other than that,
Randolph's unease comes from an entirely separate direction.
other than that, you can tell their guard is definitely still up. Which
Oh,
is
yeah.
not surprising.
She's going to look. She just like stares blankly at the blonde one for a moment and then turns to the one with the hood. I'll speak with you once I've spoken to, well, who you've been acquainted with, Draugr Bane, and my people.
Okay. We'll see how things go.
We'll see. And she'll kind of just get off the wall she was leaning on and walk out of the room.
Randolph moves kind of like you know how magnets maintain like a constant distance from each other?
Mhm.
Kind of like that as she moves towards the door.
God.
And with that, as she steps out, you see Leowen waits a few minutes before he turns to you and goes, "Okay, what the fuck is a Garou?"
A lupine, one of the werewolves.
Wolf creature.
The ones
Wait,
that we've
they're-
been fighting.
We haven't been
Or,
fighting
no,
any
sorry,
of
the
them.
ones that we've been searching for, or something. Yeah.
Wait, they're real?
Yeah.
I imagine their presence to be rumors as well, whispers in the wind, but they're quite real, and they're in the island in force.
Had a
Oh,
run in.
shit.
Well, not me, but a couple of us had a run in with them last night.
Maud gestures to herself and Randolph.
And I'm assuming that this is what this, peace talk is referencing.
Okay, so we're
I think so.
organizing a peace talk with...
I think we just had it.
I don't know about that.
This was the organizing of a very fragile peace talk, which is possibly going to occur, assuming that Rorik and the person called Draugr Bane don't get into an honor duel with each other and kill one another.
I mean, the only thing I've heard about these things is that
They hate
they're
us.
fucking death monsters. I don't know of
And
anyone
that
that's
have
lived
that on our
facing...
side. For now.
They are. God, they're
Unless
strong.
you'd rather they continue bearing down on the city like they
I'd rather they
probably
weren't here.
intended to.
I'd rather a lot of people weren't here right now. However, we have to work with what we have.
And also rather certain people were present and not randomly disappearing, but
Oh, I'm sorry, the
I don't
prince wasn't
believe
aware
this is
that we were a sudden influx of wolf men.
And we wouldn't have known unless we went into a strange magical cave.
Okay, I feel like I'm really out of the loop, so I'm just gonna take a step back.
That's
As he
absolutely
figures out,
fine.
like,
fair. Right.
I don't get it. With that said, whether or not it works, the situation cannot possibly get worse with them unless they do a full continued assault on the cities, during which the Silence of the Blood will be breached in a big way, and, the baronies of Avalon would have to get involved. However, at the moment, it's not safe for any of us to be outside the city. It will likely continue to not be beyond the most obvious and well-traveled trails. They can travel during the day. They can break through stone walls.
And they could
believe-
potentially be a lookout towards the other cities.
However, as long as what Rorik is saying is true, and they oppose a threat that is larger than either of us, then their eyes will be elsewhere. We can take down the larger threat. And, ideally, save a lot more Cain and kindred alike than throwing ourselves into something of a sausage press.
Right.
I think it's a good idea, and I think it should be
As do
brought to
I.
the. I think we should bring our approval to the prince, because hey, if it fails, we still have the lupines, or guru as it were, within the mountains and the forest, ready to kill
Yeah.
us all. No change.
I think it's probably for the best that we stay on the same page. I personally think this is the best idea we have, as opposed to how this might go if not for this whole conversation we've had. It'd certainly go bloodier.
We do have a common enemy, and we have multiple threats on our city as well as our island. We need all the help we can get. And as we've said, they're quite strong. One less enemy to focus on, as well as gaining an ally. It's tenuous, but it is win-win.
And I'll be
Certainly.
entirely honest. If they betray us, it'll likely have the same result as if we're ready for a straight-up fight.
If they betray us, it'd be the same as if we didn't have any alliance at all. So
Aye.
Can't
So,
get any
yeah.
worse.
at least we can take out some threats before that. But one must have faith that they will keep their word.
Mom. Randolph would like to do a bit of bastardry, but I would like to ask a question first.
Of course.
Does Randolph know about the weaknesses of the lupines?
Intelligence occult,
Emily.
difficulty 9.
That's what I was thinking. Let's see. how
Mhm.
it
Back in 1
goes.
Bye.
See you in a bit. 0 successes. Like, all of the stories I've heard are like 15 gangrel getting together to murk one.
You've heard some
they all
story
die.
about, like, how you can get a werewolf to transform back by appealing to its humanity. Because of course they're like vile, cursed creatures for whatever reason. Kind of similar to vampires, but a little different. Most of the story you've heard is that they're just kind of creatures that prey on a lot of things. One of them being vampires. Other than
Yeah.
that,
I
you
think
don't
the
really know.
former he heard from Scuttlebutt, the latter he heard from his sire.
Absolutely. Your vampire is very. Your sire was very much like, avoid them, and if you have to, you overwhelm them, and you don't take them more
Indeed.
than one at a time.
I think Randolph, without knowing of like any preparations that could be made beyond hit them real hard with a real bunch of people real quick, he'll go, it's important for us to show that we're in good faith. He absolutely was gonna start production of silver things.
It's
in the
possible
meantime,
there are
however,
those who are more versed in the occult that might know more.
Yeah, I can
indeed,
tell
but
you.
that risks. Oh yes, that's right. without knowing of any kind of weakness that can be exploited, I don't fancy my chances of appealing to their humanity and ensuring that they change back into a more killable form. Thus, this is the best option.
What was the roll to make?
Intelligence occult difficulty 9.
Can I attempt it as well?
If you have a cult, you can attempt it.
I have a cult. Yeah. I've had 2
Perhaps
drops of a cult.
Perhaps the downside of having one's education being, hey, we've got ag damage, it's just really hard this way.
Yeah, it was difficulty 9, right?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. 0 successes.
1 success.
Hey!
Just the
Stupid
Valkyrie.
ones. Stupid ones.
Yeah.
1 success. From what you know about
Unless
the
book
werewolves,
learning.
not in this case. What you know about the Lupine, is that they seem to be empowered with the cycle of the moon. When it is the full moon, they are much stronger. When it is different sections of the moon, they are
Goodness.
supposedly much weaker.
Yeah.
We have to attack them during the day.
Okay, that might be a little difficult for you guys.
Nah.
Other than that, you probably maybe heard some stories about special metal that could be used to harm or kill them. But as far as you know, those are just myths, legends.
Yeah.
It's about on brand with, like, staking a vampire will kill them instantly. You know that's
Yeah.
not true. But there's a tiny bit of truth to it.
Well, the only thing I can think of really that might work. Maybe something to do with the cycle of the moon. Let's follow they grow stronger.
Beyond picking our moment, I feel it is best that we ensure that none of our people encounter theirs until such an agreement can be hashed out. The time is coming, and it is coming soon, that we should inform the citizenry of Peel that there is a threat beyond this world. However, if we can deal with it before informing them, so much the better. Panic is the anathema to good governance. And of course, that's my forte. He says very sarcastically.
It is?
It hasn't.
Oh, fair.
I'm not great at sarcasm either. I think we...
I'm not
Anyway.
I'm not great at picking up on it.
What a
You two are
pair we
both
make.
great at other things.
That was sarcasm. I think we understand what needs to be done, particularly when the prince reappears. I'll set up a perimeter. I don't know if we should write off the fugitives in the forest just yet, but searching for them will be difficult, given the
I
current
would-
circumstances.
I'd be interested in learning, speaking with them as well. Actually, no. I think that's just best left for you.
Oh boy. Hi.
But I would be interested in speaking to you if you find them.
Understood. I've got permission to kill the fugitives, and it seems that I'll be venturing into the wilds again soon enough. Let's see how Rorik's mission of peace goes over the next few nights. But given how the last And he looks down at his chest. Diplomatic overture went. I'm gonna need to eat something first.
Did you not eat at the church? Or do you need more?
I ate some at the church. I figured you wouldn't like it if I killed your parishioner.
That's also true. Thank you for your temperance.
Hey, you're welcome. Everyone has different needs.
That's true. Anyway,
Also, one of them more kind of gestures to her neck. What kind
Ah.
of that?
that's right.
Yeah,
I
like-
shall.
Can I do a retroactive medicine check?
Sure. Witch medicine.
Hell yeah.
We were bandaging it up, so.
They will
Uh,
be looked after.
because I'm a bastard, would the reactive specialty count?
No.
Alright, let's do it. 0 successes. Yeah, I did my best.
we tied that around their neck, I guess. And now she.
We put a bandage on.
Right, I should have remembered.
We should have to.
It's all right. It's all right. I'll be certain that they get what they need. They're always well taken care of.
Of course.
In the meantime, my raven, my wolf, will be going searching. If more knowledge is required, I'm sure Snorri would be willing to give it, despite the lack of interest in being here. I'd recommend consulting him about what he knows of the lupines.
Right. Well then, I suppose this is an unofficial gathering, and we're just free to go, unless you wish to adjourn the meeting. You in?
Don't patronize me.
Of course not. If you don't want to, then we can leave.
Steps and leaves.
To be fair,
Then
you haven't read things smoother than the prince would have.
Looks, I mean,
I
certainly quicker.
think I might take a
Would you
page
guys like to
from
make
Snorri's book
a
and leave this situation before you
perception
continue
alertness?
this conversation.
for anyone
What
who would like-
difficulty?
This would be difficulty 8.
Perception
would
alertness is 58.
Would the search
Two
specialty apply?
successes.
No successes.
Search would not.
I'm assuming navigation would not.
Not in this case.
Didn't think so. 2 successes.
Alright, for Iris and Maud, you can hear him kind of muttering himself as he's leaving, as he says, every time, elders.
Yeah.
But yes, Randolph says, before your conversation continues further, I feel I might take a page from Snorri's book. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Farewell. Malt.
Oh yeah, and he departs.
Yeah.
He just stands there.
Iris. Yeah.
Yeah, he just stands there like, hold on, I'm waiting,
Menacingly.
I'm waiting, and
Yes.
like 4 turns later, turns into a bird.
Yeah, let's
but
go.
no, he just walks out.
Yeah.
What do you do with the rest of your evening?
Mainly keeping an eye on Bride, but other than that, I need to, not urgently, but still a bit hungry, but
Right.
I can wait.
You should take care of you and yours.
Of course. Was there anything you were particularly looking into?
just checking in on my parishioners, making sure that they are well taken care of after the feeding.
Right. Yeah.
But other than that, no, just my usual duties.
Right.
Right,
I should head off.
right. And then I think Iris waits for just like 1 second too long before shuffling out and
Maud
Uh,
kind of like doesn't know how to continue the conversation and just kind of stands there very awkwardly while Bright is probably still present, but she'd leave eventually.
Could I do a little bit of bastardry?
What would you like to do?
for the third time.
Considering the vocal actions against the prince, I imagine in his absence that you guys were like very dismissive of the prince. One begets something later, and one of the two figures there can speak to animals. And I'm sorry, Rebecca. I would like to see if I could get either a church dormouse or some manner of common thrush or sparrow to keep an eye on Sister Iris, just who she meets with.
Alright, manipulation and actually, I think it might be charisma and animal ken, but it could also be manipulation and animal ken.
It's the same either
was
way
just-
for me.
It's probably charisma then.
Yes. Right. Let me quickly check the modifiers. Sorry, I should have brought this up ahead of time.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Alright. Whispers to the wild bird. 7. I'm gonna make animal sounds, because I can. It's difficulty 6. Would wild animals apply?
Well, Russia.
Sure about.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let's go with the dormouse.
Indeed. Ugh, 2 successes. Wait, hold on, that's not right. Sorry about that, that is absolutely the wrong roll. There we go. 7 successes.
Very nice. With that, you are able to do so succinctly, and with a number of animals listening to your plea, of these small little birds that agreed to do so.
But yes, I think with that in mind, and some part of his spy network, expanded for now, I think he will do as he said. He's going to make sure that no one leaves the city right now, and just surveying the area around for added threats.
Alright.
And of course, eating on the way.
Yeah. I think at this point, we're going to cut back to Rorik as she makes her way back to the village that is being put together by her kin. As you arrive, you can already see that people are starting to awaken. Those who have jobs early in the morning. Those who are just about to finish whatever it is they've been doing for this night. As you do, you can see that there was already a gathering in the longhouse, as a number of figures are circled around what looks to be a large table as you step inside. We see fires are burning in the corridors, alighting the area. But everyone seems to be gathered around this one table, where there is a figure that stands at the end of it. A man covered in tattoos of designs of spears and swords and wolves. The man who stands at the head is... Let me get his name, actually. I want to make sure I get it right.
I have it. Do you want it?
Actually, I remember it. This is Harold, the Draugr's Bane.
Harry?
This is where we will strike. The battle to end all battles. Where we will slay the enemy that has dug itself deep into the bowels of this isle. We shall rip it forth like the cancer it is, and kill it. Then we will rid the rest of them, destroying every single of the worm's puppets, piece by piece. The wolves will be at their doors, and we will hold no mercy to their corrupted hearts. With that, you hear a number of cheers from those who surround the table as you walk in.
How many of these people do I know to be somewhat sympathetic to the not just running in and killing everything we see?
Would say probably around 7 of them. So the minority, but not a small minority of the total of around
Those
15
that knew
full-blown Guru.
she was going.
15, I should say.
So, of those who knew she was going,
Yeah.
she'll make eye contact and kind of give a nod. The like I'm successful
Yeah.
kind of thing. And she'll, as he's finishing his spiel, she'll kind of vocalize, Harold, I've spoken to the spirits again.
He looks to you, looking to the others with a slight smirk. And what have they told you, Red King?
That there's something worse. The same as last time. Worse than them. If we go after them, we'll die. They will too. It'll solve our problem. But we'll also be dead.
We have
Because
a
whatever's
purpose
left of us,
here, Rorik,
and our
to
purpose
rip
is
out
to
the cancer.
out of here. But if we all die and they're immortal, what happens to us? We fail. And we don't fail. It's a long game.
Everybody else out. Out! He shouts as he looks around. Everyone immediately turns and begins to make their way out of the longhouse. Until it's just you and him standing over this large table, where you see a map has been drawn out. What are you doing?
I've never questioned you in the entire time that I've followed you. I've agreed implicitly with everything, and I'm telling you it's worse. And you don't believe me. So my words mean nothing, despite all the loyalty I've given you.
Your words do not mean nothing.
You act
But
like
I
they do.
know. I know what we are up against. I've seen it. The spirits
I
have told me.
You're
We
not
will
like me.
defeat them.
We will defeat them in time. If we fight them now, all that's left of us and all that's left of them will get obliterated by that thing lurking. You want to
It's
wipe out
more.
everything. You want to wipe out any corruption? That's corruption. It's under our feet.
It's more than just that, Rorik.
Trust me.
The Wolf Jarl is buried on this isle. And it will not be long till he awakens. The mockery of our very existence. One of the bastards of Odin is here. And we have a chance to kill it. Once and for all. They, the ones that I know you have gone to, will side with it. It's in their nature.
You will consign us all to death.
I would see
Fail.
that we destroy our enemy.
We won't. We won't destroy them. We will destroy ourselves.
Well, then what other option do I have?
She kind of, because they've known each other a while, she kind of gets closer, kind of like we're speaking in confidence, we're no longer yelling at each other. And she'll lean on the table. Hear me out. We wait and bide our time, come up with a plan to get rid of the scourge that you speak of.
We don't have
But for
time.
now, we smile at their faces and get rid of the bigger threat. That gives us time to plan for what you want to do while also getting rid of the issue that will end all of us before we begin. You know I'm right.
Make a charisma and expression.
Oh no. I don't know. I don't even know what my stats are. I'm like, this
This one will be a difficulty 7.
Oh,
You said
no.
charisma what? I'm sorry.
Charisma expression. Actually, this will be
Do
difficulty
I?
8.
Do I get anything to help me with this? Because he knows me, kind of. Well, not kind of. He knows me.
I am calculating that in his mind. The fact that he knows you means that it's not difficulty 10.
Okay, that's
There you
fair.
go.
That's fair.
Means that he's not rolling to attack.
I got 2. It's not
Yay!
fantastic, but it's something.
He pauses. What makes you think we can trust those leeches?
I don't think we can trust them. I think we can trust their fear of this. They were honest about it. They know it's there. They've been aware of it. It frightens them. And anyway, I asked for more concrete answers, so I couldn't exactly make a full promise to anything. I'm not you.
Fine. I'll hold off my plan. But if any of them comes near our home again,
Then
I
we
will not
kill them.
hesitate to have them cut down.
Thank you.
You better hope this works out. or
I
it will
know the
be on your head.
I know. I am trying to help our people, you know that. But they have yet to fully agree, so for now, I'll go back and see. Give them time to consult their leaders.
Fine.
And don't stop your plan. Just do it quietly.
I
Doesn't
don't
mean it
intend
won't come
to.
to fruition anytime soon.
I do not think we have long. But fine. I'll wait. But know that I won't wait long.
I know.
You watch as he takes a deep breath as you can see the barely contained rage inside him burning. Go. Before I change my mind.
Thank you. And she turns and leaves.
With that, we return back to the city as you all prepare for the rise of the dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any last minutes you would like to do in the final hours?
Snorri left the council chamber. He would have made his way to a common meeting place that him and Sister Marana would have had in the past, looking for her.
From the darkness, after some time, a voice would reach out. You called?
Yes. Let's waste your time. As I'm sure you're aware, we are already swimming what everybody seems to be calling danger. Our prince not here. Left her childer as our new seneschal. I could care less. I thought you might want to know.
I know the prince is away. But why should it matter?
Or that the seneschal was making decisions. As I said, you usually like to know such things.
What
That's
seneschal?
all. Her childer.
I do not like being kept out of the loop, Snorri. When did this happen?
After being insulted, I left the council chamber and I came here.
What about?
Do you mean?
Why were you in the council chamber?
That is a really good question. But unfortunately, I have no answer to. I was following up with Maud, the sheriff, and Sister Iris. We're headed there.
I see.
By the way, something out in the woods. A lot of howls. More than we have ever heard.
I see. I have some things I must achieve. Till next time, Snorri.
Very well, sister.
She turns
That
and
he will.
leaves.
That he will to return to the crypts to continue to work on trying to understand the vision better and put the final pieces in place that he's missing.
Is there anything else we would like to achieve in the hours leading to the sunrise?
Yeah, I think Iris would just want to tend to the parishioner that Maud bit to make certain that all is well.
Wits
And that
medicine difficulty
Sorry, I gave
8.
him diseases.
I was just so hungry.
I just had to give them diseases, you know.
So it's wits medicine difficulty
8.
8. All right. Do. Yeah. Fuck.
Oh no.
You do what you
Yeah.
can, however, it is not long before the parishioner passes, having succumbed to the disease that has seeped into the wound. Your herd has been permanently damaged and is down one vessel until you take the time to recuperate it.
Right. In that case, she spends the remainder of the time basically doing what she has done several times before in the finding of a place to bury it properly in like the cemetery attached to the church. Taking all the protocols to not be seen and
Sure. Roll me a d10, tell me high or low.
let's go high.
Hell yeah.
As you
That's a
are
10.
putting the body away, burying it in the cemetery, there is a voice behind you from the darkness. Is that one of yours, child? You turn to see the dark shadow of your sire.
I thought so. You.
His black, soulless eyes stare into yours. With a smile, or perhaps an approximation of a smile.
Was. Yes.
What happened to them?
They were wounded.
Were they now? How were they wounded, dear child?
Through charity.
That was.
They
it
trusted
seems,
perhaps too deeply when they should not have.
and that
Heard it's
trust
a
has
wound
come
that
back to bite
kills.
them.
Quite so.
There's a valuable lesson to learn here, child, and I'm sure it is not lost on you.
Hmm. What can I do for you, Lord Elijah?
I just wanted to understand what was happening. You see, it wounds my heart to see something that belongs to my child taken from them.
I used to think that my heart belonged to me.
Is that so? Tell me, is this your heart that you're burying? Or one of the tools that is used to achieve your desires?
My heart died twice. I cannot bury it a third time. This is locked away again.
See, that is why I removed mine. Replaced it with knowledge beyond emotional understanding. I can see it in your eyes. It still hurts, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Do you not wish to be free from it? From the misery caused by your faith?
I think at that point she will grab the crucifix around her neck.
It is the faith of suffering. Built on suffering. Cause of suffering.
It is what
And
helped
continued.
me when I was at my greatest suffering, Lord Elijah.
And it prolongs through suffering.
It offers succor.
Does it? Where is your succor? Aside from buried before your feet. Do you think you gave these people hope? Do you think they feel betrayed? Or does it not matter? Do you not really care?
Of course it matters. I tried. I will continue to try. I will continue to do my best for what is right, for this city. I care about the people who live here. I care about the people who look up to me.
He steps forward, reaches out to brush your hair aside.
Steps back just enough to hesitate. Like a wounded pup. Yeah.
Then he reaches forward once more, forcibly moving your hair aside.
I think she reflexively just slaps it away.
He
Don't
grabs
touch
your
me.
wrist. But as he does, there is no look of anger on his face or in his eyes. Just that soulless smile. You feel it in your heart, don't you? Your best as it is not enough. But it could be. It could be, child. You are destined for great things. You need but listen to the whispers. I know you hear them. You try to block them out for as long as you have, but you know that you no longer can. I gave you the shard for a reason. Use it, and you will see the truth. Daddy lets go of your wrist. I will talk to you again soon, child. Oh, and don't worry about this little mistake. I will see that those who have wronged you are punished. Come along then. As he turns around on his heel. And you see something move out of the shadows. A figure. You see one arm is slender and humanoid, while the other is rough and bulbous. It turns to look at you, and you see a single eye shining through a dark stone mask. Before it turns away and follows after your sire.
Now. I think she crosses herself, says a prayer, and tries very hard not to cry a little bit.
I think with that, we're going to end the session early for today.
Boy.
Ooh,
Your sire's a dick, Rebecca.
he's the
What the
worst!
Fuck!
He is awful.
Like,
with that,
there's just a bird in the distance going, fuck him.
Right?
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
wondering if there was a mouse that overheard that.
Oh, there definitely was a bird that overheard that. So Randolph knows
Nice,
all
nice,
that
nice.
happened.
Hell
But to those who have been watching, I hope you have enjoyed. I have been Mark, aka the CatsMeow, and this has been our lovely Vampire Dark Ages series.
Yeah.
We hope you've enjoyed this. We are quickly heading towards the end of this arc, this chapter of the chronicle, if you will. And I hope you are excited to see storylines start to converge as things are starting to heat up
Yes.
on the Isle. And we will have to
Woo.
see on whether these Cainines will survive the coming storm or if they will be boiled by the sea. With that, we're going to do some outros, starting off with Emily. Why don't you give us your outro?
I am Emily. I played Rorik, and I was not mentioned in the Boiling in the Sea, so I'm gonna be fine.
Orc will probably be fine. They're not going to die horribly. Don't worry
Oh,
about
it's
it.
gonna be great.
Yeah, you're
Listen.
fine.
I succeeded, kind of. I worked on it.
Alright. Any other outro things you want to give or anything?
I got nothing.
Fair
Wow,
enough.
Emily's in no other projects.
I'm not the one who leads the other projects, so it's better for other people to do it. Because I also suck at talking, and it's 6 a.m.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
Mm-hmm. Alright then. Next up, Thomas. Give us your outro.
Hello, my name is Thomas. I've been Randolph. Randolph's going through a time and he's afraid, mostly of the werewolves, but he's actually kind of enjoying himself despite the endless fear and apocalypse approaching. His worldview is proving itself correct. There are great monsters that need hunting. But yes, it's been a delightful time. I'm sorry that I'm spying on my friends. And that should be everything. I am in another project, but it is a project that I share with Mark. Where on Mondays for us, Sundays for the Americas, we play knights and hit things and get hit in Ticking Time Bob's Pendragon.
Let me do a shout out to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other things you want to say for your outro?
No, that's me. I exist nowhere else. Do not perceive me.
Very nice. Next up, Mars. Give us your outro.
Hello and goodbye. I am Mars and I played Maud. I'm going to get killed. Yay!
You can take him.
Oh yeah, I could probably take him.
In a fight, right?
In a
Mord
fight,
could take him in a
right?
fight. I could take him.
Pain will only bring you understanding.
No.
I'm joking. I'm fully joking. I would not touch that man with a 10-foot
Don't
pole.
touch my dad.
This is revenge. I will.
No.
Revenge.
This sucks being on this side. My dad's evil.
Up next, Drew, why don't you give us your outro?
Hi everybody, I've been Drew. I played Snorri this evening, who is, causing mischief. Also, I want to say thanks to Emily for guest starring this evening. It was nice to have her along for the ride. And that's what I got. Thanks everybody.
Very nice. And last but certainly not least, Rebecca, give us your outro.
Hi, I'm Rebecca, and I played Iris, the continuously tortured Lasombra. On Tuesday nights, Emily and I are also in a Pendragon game, the sibling game to the Sunday night game run by Ticking Time Bomb Gaming. We both play ladies, noble ladies. Look, you are one. You have to be
I'm
one,
not a
alright?
noble lady. I'm a lady.
Well,
but
your lady. Lowborn, but still a lady. And, and yes, it's like the mystical, magical side of things. Fae and witches and all that sort of thing. The Mists of Avalon to the King Arthur story. And yes, that's me done.
Very nice. And I have been your storyteller for tonight's evening, Mark, aka the CatsMeow. I also run another vampire campaign on this channel, which is a Vampire Anniversary 20th Edition game called House of Tremere, set in the 1990s, as we deal with a bunch of Tremere facing a disconnect from the pyramid as a whole. And realizing that everything around them is starting to crumble as old enemies start to rear their ugly heads, and the sins of the past will haunt those who are the descendants of the ancient progenitor of Tremere. So please join us for that. And that is on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. EST, I believe.
Yeah.
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 Come join us there for some lovely Tremere fun time, and also to see what Emily's Tremere character is up to, changing
Yeah.
light bulbs and repairing books.
oh
God.
no, the light bulb.
So funny.
So if you want to know more about that, watch episode 1 of House of Tremere, which is up on YouTube, also on the Twitch, and I hope you'll join us for our next episode. With that, we hope you have enjoyed. If you wish to see more, remember to follow if you're on the Twitch, like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. And, yeah, just do what you can to support us in any way. It's greatly appreciated, and it allows me to do more fun content like this, and do more games and shit. And with that, I will bid you all adieu, with a classic outro. When you're wandering through the woods, always keep in mind that there is a chance something else is wandering with you. Now, be they vampire, or be they werewolf, be they zombie, be they warlock, be they witch, the one thing to remember is that you are not safe. For the darkness hides many evils, and the world of darkness hides many more. Good night.
I
Noel!